Hi everyone, and happy Friday to you guys. Thank you all for being here. My name is Karen Wilson, and I am proud to be the president of this club this year. And if I could have Jeanette Harrington, Rob Hibb, and Vicki Jackerman come forward and help us open our meeting.
Fellow Rotarians, let's bow our heads in prayer. Thank you, Lord, for our past successes. This enables us through our organization to achieve greater success. We are fortunate to serve around the world in fellowship with generosity and prosperity. We work together to benefit all. Pray for our leaders as we continue efforts to serve and touch those in need. Wishing you joy of life, health, and companionship. Amen.
Friends, will you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, for milestones, member birthdays, Jim Doozer, January 11th. Kevin Restain, I know I'm probably butchering these names, sorry, January 13th. Peggy Brown, January 16th. Spouse birthdays, Bill Bryce's wife Sarah, January 15th. Anniversaries, Gary and Cece Hertel, 27 years, January 11th. Club anniversaries, Denise White, 1 year, January 12th. And Henry Yu, 1 year, January 12th as well. Salute. Thank you all so much. Okay, if you brought a guest today, would you please stand and welcome, so we can welcome your guest.
I'm Karen Block from the Sun City Rotary, and I brought Janet with me to Kiefel.
Wonderful, welcome.
Before we return to Dave, I better have a following that don't pay me this when we start.
Okay, I don't want the mic up there because I've got a slew of them. Visiting Rotarians, you can do your own stand-up, but then I'm going to embellish it. But we do have guests from Georgetown High School, Principal Wes Vanchek, and Candace Mellick is our vice principal, and she's in charge of the Aussies when they go to Georgetown next week. Please welcome them.
Okay, are there any visiting Rotarians with us today?
Hello, I'm Doug Cornwell from the Rotary Club of Round Rock. I've got my wife Tamron here. We hosted one of the exchange students from Australia for the last couple of weeks, and so that's what we're here today to see today.
That was kind of
Hello, I'm Steve Dooley from Columbia, Missouri.
Okay, the next three that talk, these are all highly associated with the Group Youth Exchange from the Austin Club. So.
Hi, my name is Caroline Valentine. I am a member of the Downtown Austin Rotary.
Don Ray George, Rotary Club of Boston, also called the Downtown Rotary Club. Glad to be here.
I'm David Norton with the Downtown Rotary Club, and I'm Danny's counterpart for Austin.
Well, welcome all of you. We're very excited that you're here today. We hope you enjoyed the program. We have a few announcements that we'd like to make. First of all, our ramp build is January the 19th here in Georgetown. If you are able to help with that, please see Myra Page. Then we have another big announcement that we just found out about, and that is going to be
an early act first night jousting tournament. If you all have never seen this, you really need to try to go. It's going to be at Carver Elementary, Monday the 14th at 1 o'clock. Real horses and the whole 9 yards out in the back, and they're going to have a lot of stuff going on there for the kids. We typically would do something like that at the beginning of the year, but we figured it was so hot for the horses and for the kids outside, we decided to wait and do it in January. So we'll let you know how that goes. So that's Monday the 14th, this coming Monday at 1 o'clock. Carver Elementary is the new school in the Terra Vista, Georgetown side over there. So come if you can. And then the rest of the early act first night ceremonies will be taking place throughout January. January 25th is Mitchell Elementary at 8:15. Pearl Elementary is January 25th as well at 1:30. And then Carver will have their knighting ceremony on January the 30th. And I emphasize these because these are the schools that this club supports. We pay for all of this program for these kiddos, and we're also supporting the jousting tournament that's going on Monday. That's where a lot of our money goes that we fundraise with, and so if you show up, they love you, they treat you like kings and queens, so try to go and let them know you're there for Rotary. Okay, the other thing coming up is the Branding and Public Image Training Day. How many of you have been to this in the past? It's really, really good. If you can go, please do so. January the 19th, it's on a Saturday from 9 a.m. till 2 p.m. It is one of the better trainings I've ever been to, and I mean that sincerely. They really do a good job. It's free, and it's here in Georgetown. So if you go to the District 5870 website, you can register there. So I encourage you to look at doing that. The Harvard Glee Club and Radcliffe Choral Society will be performing the 21st and 22nd. That announcement's in your trumpet. You can get more information there. Then the District Foundation Gala is coming up. How many of you in the room have registered to go to that? Oh boy. Okay, Georgianne, you. Okay, for those of you that are interested, there again, go to the district website. You can register there. And Georgianne, did you want to say a few words about the next announcement about the survey?
So last week I shared that we have a SurveyMonkey site that has a very brief survey about the Patriots Ball and the Field of Honor. You all know how important feedback is in your businesses to making decisions about improving what you do. It is critical that we get people to take a few minutes to fill out this survey. On your tables, there's a URL for that survey. There's also a link on our Facebook page, and we'll send out an email early next week to remind you that we'll also have a link in it. It takes about 8 minutes. That's the average of the people that have already taken it. And it is anonymous. There's nothing to tie it to any individual person. So please take the time to do that. It's just critical for our planning for 2019. And those are great events, but we want to do what we can to make them even better. Thank you.
Thank you, Georgianne. I think that one of the main reasons we're doing this survey is we started Field of Honor 2 years ago, so we have 2 years under our belt, yeah. So in the past we did a golf tournament, we did a gala. Then we switched to something that would get us more, so people in town would know more about who we are, maybe a signature event. And so we want to know what you think. We know what we think. But before we go into another year, we want to know what you think so we can plan accordingly. So thank you for doing that. Okay, David, I understand we have a new member coming on board today.
We do, absolutely. This is one of those folks that everybody in Georgetown knows except me. Kat Phelps, please.
You can tell we rehearsed this very carefully. We practiced diligently.
Yeah. Kat, we're glad to have you here today, by the way. Elizabeth has agreed that she's your sponsor, so she's going to keep you, straight and narrow. Why don't you step up here, please? It is my great pleasure, on behalf of the Board of Directors and members of the Rotary Club of Georgetown, to welcome you as a member in the Georgetown Rotary Club. Not as an initiate, but you're a full-fledged member, and you should know that and appreciate that. Whoops. Want to help me out there, Elizabeth? Thank you. You've been selected for membership because your fellow members believe you to be a leader in your vocation and will manifest the characteristics that will allow you to impart the message of Rotary in the community. Rotary is an organization of business and professional people pledged to uphold the highest professional standards. Rotarians believe that worldwide fellowship and international peace can be achieved when professional men and women unite under the banner of service. You are the representative of your vocation in this club and a representative of Rotary in all phases of your professional and personal life. The community will know and judge Rotary by the embodiment of it in your character and service. You've been selected for membership because we know you'll keep our principles and our organization safe. Rotary is not a political organization, but we're vitally interested in everything pertaining to good citizenship and good communities. Rotary is not a charitable organization, but our activities throughout our community and the world exemplify our responsibility to helping others. Rotary is not a religious organization, but our beliefs are built on eternal principles that have been the moral compass of people throughout the ages. This day may mark the beginning of many years of devoted service and fellowship, or it may not. It depends on you. Above all else, what Rotary gives you and what you give Rotary is your choice. You'll be selected to be on a committee or find one of your own choosing, and we'll support you in that selection. Your contribution to that committee is your choice. You will be given the opportunity to attend numerous functions related to Rotary activities, and what you do with those opportunities is your choice. But we do want to hurt the ball, right? Okay. Your continued membership in this club is evidenced by your participation or non-participation in club projects and your attendance or non-attendance at weekly club meetings. Rotary offers many opportunities for service and fellowship, and it is your choice to do what you will with these opportunities. You've been selected for membership because we are confident you will choose wisely, that you will choose to be more than a member of a Rotary Club, and that you will choose to actually be a Rotarian. I'm pleased to present you with a Rotary pin and a packet of information about Rotary. Welcome to the membership in the Rotary Club of Georgetown, Texas. Can I make one more announcement? We'll have an indoctrination session for those who haven't been to one yet on the first Friday of next month, February. Okay.
Thank you very much. We're excited to have Kat on board. Matter of fact, before we recruited her into some committees, so we didn't let her sit around too long before we brought her on. Okay, with that, Danny Swafford, if you would please come in forward and introduce our speakers for today.
Once again, it's my pleasure to introduce our Australian Group Youth Exchange team from Perth, Australia. I'm going to let them introduce themselves because, quite frankly, it's just fun to listen to them talk. I did want to give a special shout out to our Georgetown host families, Mike and Joanne Douglas and Gary and Danna Zreet. Thank you very much, and please give them a round of applause for watching after. And you saw Doug and Tamara introduced earlier. They did the program in Austin, and I couldn't say enough about our team for David and Don Ray and for Caroline. Great group to coordinate and work with from our Austin Downtown Club. They really are. So give them another hand as well, please. The students got here for Christmas break. I'll call it actually a couple of days before the students were out of school in Austin. Spent some time with them. We did a service project at the Capital Area Food Bank on the 3rd, and then on the 4th, David and Isabel had everybody over for a family exchange, a lot of fun. And this week they have been enjoying Eastview High School And then next week they will enjoy Georgetown High School. And then we will wrap them up on Thursday after school and go back to David and Isabel's house and do another exchange. And then David and Don Ray will be taking them to the airport, and off they go again, and we'll be looking forward to the next trip. So I will let them introduce themselves, and they have a wonderful program for you, and feel free to ask questions when it's over. Girls, you can clap.
Hi, I'm Amy Doak. Yeah, next slide, please. Okay, well, this is just kind of a brainstorm about me. On the far right corner, you can see those are my animals. I have a Bichon Frise named Gabbana, and she's a fluffy little cloud. And then at my mum's, I have a Doberman named Papa Nui, and another one named Shelby, but I forgot to get a photo. I was born and raised in WA, and my family has grown up in Perth and WA their entire lives. Back way when my mum's side, we came over as convicts and also part Aboriginal on that side. And on my dad's side, we came over as farmers from Ireland because they wanted to. Some sports I like to play is Australian football, which is nothing like American football, if that's what you're wondering. Nothing like it. I love to ice skate, play and watch basketball, and I just like to swim for fun. I like to travel and I like to see new places, but one place we mainly go to is Broome, which is 2 hours north above Perth, where it's the reddest beaches with the bluest ocean, but you can't swim in there because of crocodiles. So we just swim in the pool mostly, and it's really fun. And that's us in Broome on the camels back there, if you can see the photo of the cluster. And that's my family, my friends. So you can't really, I can't really point too well, but in the bottom corner, in the black and white photo, that's me and my brother, and he is I like to call him one of my best friends. And the photo above that, that's another one of my best friends, Adam, and we haven't known each other for long, but we've been really close. And the photo above that is my cousins, Violet and Aubrey, with my brother Violet and my Poppy, who's my granddad on his 80th birthday. And my Poppy and I are really close. To the right, like left, depends what way you're looking at, you get it. The black and white one, that's me, my best friend Ashlyn. We met on the first day of kindergarten and we've been friends ever since. Next one is me and my stepmom, who I call my Mars, and we're really close. The one below that is me and another one of my best friends, Valerie. And the one next to that is my sister, who I've known since she was born, and she's like a sister. In my future, I want to make a difference by either advertisement or doing like environmental science and something along those lines. And some fun facts about me: if you know me, my favorite color is purple. I want to own 5 Dobermans when I'm older. I'm vegetarian, and I love America.
So I'm Albie Bella. I'm 17 from Perth. Introduce you to my family. So my mum, Sandra, my dad, Scott, my brother, Angus, who's 14, and Rowan, who's 11. Both my parents are actually accountants, and I know they sound really boring, but they're actually pretty fun. They told me to say that, so. All together as a family, we like going on camping trips and traveling quite a bit. Our most recent trip together went to Italy and Scotland and London. My dad's family is from Scotland. I'm first generation Australian on his side, and I actually have a British citizenship as well as Australian. My dad likes cycling, cooking and baking cakes. I think he likes baking cakes so he can eat them. And my mum likes yoga, gardening and reading. The boys both play baseball and video games, but Angus likes fish and aquariums, and Rowan likes reading. Next slide. So this is my puppy. Oh, yep, this is my puppy, or my baby. She is a 15-month-old golden Labrador, and she is pretty silly. She loves tennis balls, walking, and playing with her friends at the park. And she's our first family pet, so we're still trying to get around some of the difficulties, like barking when she wants the ball thrown. So these are my two best friends, Ella, who's the brunette one, and Amy, who is the lighter-haired one. Me and Amy met when we were 10 in 4th grade, and we've been really close ever since. Our dads go cycling together on the weekends, and our mums are good friends as well, and like all together our families are great friends. Me and Ella met on our first day of high school in 7th grade, and we have been inseparable ever since. Together, me and Amy like listen to music, going to concerts and playing netball, which is an Australian sport, or in the Commonwealth. And Ella and I enjoy food, dance, and have actually choreographed our own duet last year, which we performed at our dance concert. All three of us are quite good friends together, and we like going to the beach, brunch, and shopping. Next slide. So these are some photos of things I'm interested in. So netball, which is the sport I was talking about, you can see 2 photos of my team in the blue. So I've played netball for 8 years, and I'm defence, so I play goalkeeper or goal defence. Dance, I have danced for 15 years, and in that time I've tried ballet, tap, jazz, hip-hop, lyrical, and contemporary. Last year I did lyrical and jazz. Photography is what I'd like to do in my future. So there's some of the photos I've taken. I got more into it during high school, and I've tried some experimental stuff like doing shoots underwater and with a whole bag of flour scattered around the studio. And I also really like food. My dad, growing up in Scotland, couldn't really go outside, so his mum always had him in the kitchen learning how to cook, and they've continued that on with me, and I really enjoy eating and cooking food.
Hi, I'm Alex, I'm 16, and I was born in Perth, but my mom, Melissa, is from Singapore and moved to Perth when she was about 10 years old. And my dad, Lee, is from Vietnam and moved to Perth when he was about 8. I have a younger sister called Asha, and she's 12, and she loves ice skating. She wants to do it professionally when she's older. And I have 2 dogs. Prince, he's a Maltese Shih Tzu, he's the small white one, and Harley, who's an American Staffy, and she's the big black one. Harley has the most beautiful nature ever. Prince, on the other hand, you don't want to mess with Prince. A couple of things that I love to do is I love to jam out on my guitar, piano, and sing and write songs, and I love theatre and drama and entertaining people. And I also love to watch musicals, and I also love visual art, and I love playing basketball, and I also love anything outdoors and adventurous. And actually, a couple of years ago, I went with a group of people from school, and we hiked up Bluff Knoll, then Abseil Danna, and Bluff Knoll is the highest peak in the Stirling Ranges in WA. It's about 3,606 feet tall. And so that was an amazing experience, and yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure. So, can we go to the next one, please? Thank you. My name is Shally, I'm 17. As you can tell, I'm not actually from Australia fully. I was born in Sri Lanka, and so was my entire family. We moved when I was about 3 years old, so in 2005 to Australia, and we've been living there now for 14 years. So on the top right, that's a photo of my family. So on the left is my sister, then my mum and my dad. So my dad is a banker and my mum is an accountant, like Albie's parents. And just like her, I really don't know what they do, but apparently it's cool. I don't know. My sister is turning 21 next month. She just finished her undergraduate degree in psychology last year, and she's currently doing something my family loves to do, which is traveling. She's all over Europe with her best friend. And I'm really really jealous. I wish I could be with her, but I'm here, which is kind of better. So my mom's current passions include running. She recently, a couple years ago, got into it with fun runs, like 4 kilometers, but last year it was a big milestone for her because she did her first marathon, and we were really proud of her for that. Unlike that, my dad is kind of a party animal. He loves to blast music around the house just to annoy me and my sister. And my sister, like most young adults and myself, loves Netflix, and we like hanging out together. As you can tell, we're pretty close. That's a photo of my sister and I when we were young. We used to match a lot. Thankfully, we stopped that. So we also have a German Shepherd, which is on the bottom left corner. His name is Sniper. Yep, Sniper. My dad has a thing for like guns and stuff. We have another German Shepherd back in Sri Lanka called Trigger. Yeah, dunno. He's super goofy and he looks threatening, but he's such a sweetheart and he's like a princess, not even a prince. So the other dog up there is our foster dog. She's 4 years old and we've been taking care of her right now, just making sure she's safe and comfortable before she gets her new home. And I have a small group of friends. I'm really close, I have a small group of friends. It's the next slide still, sorry. Yeah. The boy on the far right, his name is Andrew and he's my best friend. We kind of got close in year 10 because we were in most of the same classes, so I was kind of forced to getting into knowing him. But I'm really glad I did. He's such a nice guy and he always has my back, so I'm really grateful for that. The other slide. So some of my interests, like I said before, was traveling. So that's my sister and I on the beach in Sri Lanka. That's actually the location where there was a big tsunami, like in 2001 or 2. But they rebuilt it and it's still like really beautiful. I also like to do fun runs like my mum, but I don't go as far as she does, like marathons. That's my mum holding a half marathon medal and me holding my puny 10. I also love to bake and cook. I usually go and make my family's birthday cakes. So that's my sister's 18th and my dad's, we won't say how old. One of my other passions is service. So because I'm older now and this college that I go to, or high school, offers a lot of service opportunities, and last year I was able to go on a service trip where students like me, we go out and teach kids in rural communities better English, like get them up to speed, keep them on track for school so that we can close the educational gap, and that was such a beautiful experience. And even though we were there to teach them, I think they taught us a lot more. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to give you like a quick, brief summary of Australian history. Yeah. So in 1966, what am I saying? Sorry. In 1788, the first fleet came to Australia, which is where 16 convict ships came with prisoners from Britain and England and all that, and brought them to Australia as settlers and started to build society on Botany Bay, which is in Sydney on the Gold Coast. And before that, it's said to be about 60,000 years that Aboriginal Australians were there before then. So yeah, that's pretty interesting, I think. And from 1788 to the next 100 years or so, there was a lot of conflict and war over land and food and resources between Aboriginal Australians who are native to Australia and convicts and Britain settlers. In 1854, the gold miner Eureka Rebellion, which is where there was like a lot of mining boom kind of, and there was a lot of fighting over again gold and all those types of things because the British thought Aboriginal Australians were going to take it, and it was a really big deal. In 1889, population growth in Australia hit 3 million, and since it was only just over 100 years, it was a really big thing, and lots of people celebrated. In 1851 to 1860, immigration and the gold rush, which people heard about this big boom of gold in Australian iron ore, and so we got a lot of immigrants come over from Asia, which is right above us, and Italy, which we will talk about our influences and all later on. On the 1st of January 1901, Australia became an independent nation from England. From 1914 to 1918, there was World War I. In 1922, Vegemite was invented, which was a big hit. From 1930 to 1934, sadly, there was an unemployment and economy fall, which was kind of based from England and America not doing so well, which big major countries affect smaller ones at the time like us quite a lot. On the 19th of March 1932, Sydney Harbour Bridge opened, which was massive. It was a huge tourist attraction and people were so happy and joyous about this. And it's still one of the most iconic places to go in Australia, and it is so beautiful. They host fireworks there every New Year's and it is stunning. If you get a chance to go, you should. And then from the 1st of September 1939, officially, there's like some speculation if you're a World War follower, you know. My brother definitely gives me a few speeches on this. To the 2nd of September 1944, World War II occurred, which yes, we were a part of, and then it kind of ties in with the Anzacs, which is a big part of our history. And, oh, it's missing the date, oops. 1926, thank you. Australia held its first Summer Olympics in Sydney, which was really big for us. And then the February 14th, 1966, the first Australian dollar and coins were made, because at then we were using pounds and currency from England. And on the 15th of September to the 20th of October 2000, the Sydney Olympic Games again was held. And then from 2001 to 2002, us legends were born. And from in 2017, there was a quokka selfie. It was like the first thing that kind of started. So if you've been to Perth, Australia, or specifically Rottnest Island, which is a little island off the coast of us, it has these things called quokkas. Now try saying that 5 times. And they are the cutest little things. They're like the size of rabbits, but they hop-ish. It's really weird. And yeah, this blew up the internet and then again made Perth a destination spot to get your selfie with a quokka. And then in 2018, the Great Exchange, which we were on. So yeah, thank you guys.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about culture in Australia. Now, we have many different cultures as we're a pretty multicultural country, you could say. And we've taken bits and pieces from all those cultures and made it our own. So the British is probably one of our biggest influences in our culture. We've taken things like the Queen's birthday, Queen's birthday holiday, Christmas traditions, putting the Union Jack on our flag and having the Queen on the back of our coin. The word mate has been speculated to come from the shortened word inmate, because we were built off prisoners, inmates, and it's a speculation, we're not quite sure there. We also took parts of other cultures, and in the 50s when they were trying to populate Australia, they put out a call to all countries saying that if you migrate to Australia, you'll be given free housing and jobs when you arrived. So that gave us Italian influences from the Italian with our coffee, German, Greek, Lebanese, Jewish and Asian cultures in our food. We've also created our own foods and traditions, but go to the next slide. We've got Vegemite for toast for brekkie, and and some Tim Tams, and our lesser known foods such as fairy bread, beetroot on burgers, pies, and lamingtons. And some Australian traditions include Vegemite on toasted brekkie, going to the beach on Christmas, wearing no shoes to the grocery store, finding snags on Saturday Arvo for non-Australian speakers, sausage and onions in a piece of bread from a hardware store. One thing about Australian culture is that half the time, yes, half of our animals are trying to kill you. Got to go to this. Oh, and the next slide. Yep. Half our animals indeed are trying to kill you, even though we do have many sharks, spiders, crocodiles, and buff kangaroos. Roger up there. Rest in peace. Most Australians aren't afraid of them and are more scared of magpies during the spring, if you'd like to. And they will swoop and have been known to peck some eyes out. And that's why you will see many Australians looking like this during the spring. And that is to deter the magpies. One piece of advice if you're coming to Australia is that yeah nah means no and nah yeah means yes.
Okay, so the school we come from is called All Saints College, and we're a really small community. We go from pre-kindy to year 12, and all of the students combined are about 1,200 students. And so walking into Eastview, I was like amazed at the amount of students there were, and some of the students even said that Eastview was a small school. So yeah, and in our school we have houses, kind of like Hogwarts. And our houses verse each other in sport carnivals and swimming carnivals and cross country, and that's really fun. That's a lot of fun. And we have a couple of clubs, including like a Lego club, a basketball club, a robotics club, but nowhere near the amount of clubs that American schools have. And yeah, we have one school production a year, but I've noticed that American schools do like a couple, which is really awesome, and I wish our school did that. And also our school wears uniform, and our school is really strict about uniform, from wearing the right socks to the right earrings, and yep, that's pretty much all about All Saints.
So I'm just going to do a quick summary of what to do in Perth specifically. So it's pretty small compared to most of the other cities in Australia, but we still have quite a few beautiful things and beautiful places for you to go. So to the top left corner, that's Kings Park. It's the second largest urban park next to or within a city. It's just behind a Central Park, so it's pretty big. It's really the best place to see the skyline in dawn or dusk. And if you have kids or grandkids that play Pokemon Go, this is a good hotspot for that. Next to it is the Fremantle Prison, which our convicts built in... Long time ago. Yeah, long time ago. Perth is also quite close to the coastline, and we're known for all our beautiful beaches, and it gets really hot, just like in Texas in the summertime. So you can find the beaches packed in the summer. If you're also looking for more of a kind of Fiji getaway, but you're on a budget, that's what Rottnest Island is for. So it's the one underneath and above the Quokka. You can see it's really cute. You can go snorkeling. Most people ride bikes and stay overnight. It's so nice. It's a quick ferry ride. And it's mainly known for its quokkas, which originally the name of the island Rottnest. The man who found the island saw them and he was like, oh, look at these rat creatures. So rat nest, rot nest. Yeah, fun facts. Personally, I like to go to the city, which is that big skyline you can see. It's great for shopping. We don't have a lot of shops, we have a good amount though. And it's a nice place for friends to catch up and you to have brunch. And to the right kind of side, we have this lovely wildlife park called Caversham, And if you don't want to just go to a zoo, but you want to interact with the wildlife we have in Australia, it's a perfect place. As you can see, we have this whole area designated to feeding and petting with the kangaroos. You can also sit down and like play with wombats. They're really cute, even though they kind of look like monsters, but I promise they're cute. And we have a lot of small towns, kind of like Georgetown, but a bit more beachy. So that one's Busselton, that's the jetty. And we also have Margaret River, which hosts our, like, the greatest chocolate factory ever. Yeah, and that's Perth.
So before we came on our trip, we thought it would be nice to raise some money for a local non-profit just to give back to our community. So we decided to do the WA, or the Shenton Park Dog Refuge. They have been taking in dogs for about 85 years and have continued to do that and done a great job of it. We all have dogs of our own and are very passionate about keeping dogs safe and in good homes. So we thought this would be perfect to raise money for them. Around the December-January time is a really busy time for them as they get a lot of unwanted Christmas gifts or puppies. So we thought it would be extra special to raise money during this time of the year.
What do you think of those young ladies? Aren't they awesome? We're very fortunate to have you here. Thank you so much. That was very interesting, and I'm sure if any of you have any questions for them, maybe they could stick around a little bit after the meeting today. Another thing I was going to ask you to do is we have a practice in our club that our speakers sign a book, and then we donate it to Pearl Elementary. And this is Teachers Rock, so if you all will sign that for me before you leave today, that would be great. Thank you so much. Are there any, Are there any other announcements for the good of Rotary? If not, would you please join me in the things we think, say, and do? First, second, fair to all concerned. Third, will build goodwill and better friendships. And fourth, will be beneficial to all concerned. We're adjourned.